Okay, so hey guys, this is the final update for the Blackheart Prodigy build on Haswell, using the Impact motherboard and just a high-end push-pull, everything that you can fit in there. Yeah, so before I start, if you haven't seen the other video, I encourage you to view it. It describes a bit more of the process of everything besides the guts of it, because only recently did I get the motherboard, graphics card, CPU, RAM and the SSD to put in it. Before it's just the shell, and it works around how I got all the fans in and everything. I will describe it a bit more in this video as well. But for now, yeah, the images and other videos and a Reddit write-up in the description, which has details of the mods, details of the list, details of my process in creating it. Yeah, so I encourage you to click on them. Also encourage you to comment or say anything in the comment section. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them like I did in my last video. So yeah, so onto the build. GTX 780, if you look in the component list, instead of a GTX 770, I went with the 780 because it looks
totally and completely badass.
The WindForce logo looks pretty cool.
Jesus! Now you see what I was going for, right? How badass is that?
And then a nice white highlight there, but it looks pretty cool in the case. I really like it. I like it better than the ASUS models. It looks really nice. Went with the 4670k, 2 DIMMs of 8 gig RAM, so 16 gig all up. Yeah, should I take? Yeah, I'll take it around. Okay, so on the front we got LAmptron FC5 V2, 4 rails of 30 watts. First rail is the LEDs from 0 to 100, so that's why I needed this fan controller, and also like the LED panel. But it can control LEDs and fans with a bit of a... It can, but it can't do it natively. Anyway, it needed a bit of a little fiddle around with the wiring. The first, turn it up to about halfway, and I've got the red coming through and the white starting to come out, and then the whites are next to them connected. So that looks pretty cool. Yeah. That's that. The second rail is the Bitfenix 230mm Spectre Pro on the front panel for front panel airflow. If I can just get this panel off. Oh, black side panel, obviously, from Bitfenix. So not a red one. They don't have a red one, unfortunately, unless you mod something. Yeah, Bitfenix on the front. Third rail on the front here controls all 4 fans of the push-pull radiator. So if you look in here, you can see the 2 underneath and the 2 on top. They're Corsair SP120s quiet editions. So 120mm static pressured fans for sitting against radiators, sitting against surfaces, and they're quite quiet. I've got it boosted all the way, so it's a bit loud now. And they got them red rings, so they're really nice. It's sitting on a 240mm Cooler Master Seidon 240M all-in-one cooler, which you'll see from the other side. So keeps the processor cold, and it has in testing. 120mm exhaust fan on the 4th rail. In terms of temperatures that are displayed here, I've got a temperature gauge in the front here to gauge basically front air temperature. A gauge on the underside of the radiator to gauge sort of the radiator fan temperatures. They're not really that accurate. And then an exhaust fan on the back, so just getting a gauge of how hot it gets and where it gets hot inside the case. Okay, guts. Yeah, let's go to guts. In my last video I didn't have any of the main heart, that's funny, of the build. Like the Maximus Impact. I was so close to buying the ASUS board. It was not funny, mainly because it took so long for this board to come out. I think ASUS knew anyway, so they didn't rush it. They got it right. There's a 230M. There's a 840 Pro SSD 512 gigabytes, so it should be heaps. I've only put one in there, and I'll put the other SATA cables in there sneakily on this side where you can't see it, because if I was to sell it off, or if I was to use it, I'd definitely get a storage drive, like a 3TB or 4TB storage drive to put in there, and you can just slot that in there. Toolless hard drive. Oh yeah, the power supply is a Silverstone ST60F/FPS model, not the /P model. PS model is 140mm depth, which allows you to fit all your cables in there. I'll talk about that soon. I've cable sleeved using MDPC. I have like 2 DIMMs of Corsair. Let's see if I can light that up. 2 DIMMs of Corsair Vengeance, 8GB each, so that's 16 gig there. There's the daughter board of the Maximus Impact, and there's the 240M there, if you can see it. That's the, of course you can see it. And that's my cabling for that. Some people cable it the other way. I prefer to do it this way, just so it doesn't look too messy on this side and you can't see it. In the back there, those things with the capacitors, I can feel the coolant. Those things with the capacitors are the dedicated sound card. It sounds great. I guess you just have to test it. The Supreme FX, it really does. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, and back there, that silver thing is the MPCI combo card on the Impact, which is the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth card, which also has an NGFF slot for NGFF SSD. They're yet to come out to consumer grade SSDs, but when they do, it'd be pretty cool. You can just slot it in there, in that silver thing, and it'll stick out that way, and it'll be connected in towards the rear panel of that little combo card, and you'll have an SSD. It's great. It has so much stuff on it. It's ridiculous. The wireless is routed from the back up here, and then to the back here with the antennas. What else? GTX 780. Yeah, that's it. 4670k, or the Intel 4670k Haswell processor as well. The build had a lot of different issues, which I'm going to go over in a different video, separate, because there's a lot of things you had to do to get this thing to work. That being said, it was still relatively easy. Just a lot of common sense, a lot of digging around for fixes, a lot of forums. Yeah, but it's pretty cool. One thing I can say I did is just as like a vanity cover and a bit of a sound buffer, but again, the power supply won't make that much sound. It already has a filter there too as well, but it doesn't make that much sound. I cut the box of the GTX 780. It comes with like this foam, styrofoam support under the graphics card, and all I did was cut some slabs off and stick them in there just as nice vanity covers, and yeah, I reckon it works well. Windforce edition, Bitfenix Alchemy cables as well. Yeah. I also did an SSD video which shows the startup, and I highly encourage people to go to Windows 8.1 because the performance benefits are there, and also the tweaks that make it look a bit more like standard Windows are also there as well. In terms of overclocking, I use Prime 95 and OCCT to monitor, and I use Combustor and all benchmarking and precision, and using all them utilities managed to get to 4.6, so that's great. Yeah, so that's it. That's the build. It took a long time to plan, took a lot of fixes. Like I said, images and other videos in the description, and Reddit write-up to see how exactly I did all this, including progress images, so if you're interested in them, they're there as well. That's it. It performs like a beast. I'd have to say there's an SSD video I put up, but just a couple of figures. I think I won the silicon lottery with the Haswell processor because I got the 4670k to 4.6 gigahertz at about 1.25 volts, and so I've used adaptive mode to go between 1.23 and 1.3 volts. That's quite a big range, but it's only 0.07 and it's well within the processor's capabilities. I did so much testing on it, Prime 95 and Combustor at the same time, heating this case up, getting it heated up, putting it on for hours, never got over 84, the hottest core, never got over 84 with Combustor on, so that's like full on everything going, and not over 84 at those limits. And so I might downclock it to 4.5 to be ultra safe, but in Prime 95 it didn't even get over like 77 or whatever, so I really did get a good chip with this one too as well. The graphics card can overclock, but hey, it's already overclocked and they overclock themselves anyway, so what's the point? Anyway, if you got any comments, leave them in the comment section like you usually do, and yeah, that's it. Thanks for all the questions and thanks for all the support and the likes before. Again, look at the Reddit write-up, look at the images and have fun. Ask any questions if you want. So cheers, yeah.